Good morning, YouTube. Good Saturday morning, everybody. I hope that you guys are going to enjoy your weekend. So I hope you guys have been liking the change in my content. I know I have. And um, we have been talking about what we have to do as Black women to basically save our community since we have been left defenseless. Us and our children have been left to fend for ourselves. And so this morning, for that reason, I want to talk about something that's a hot topic that's going on the news right now. Let me get situated here. Good morning, Wanda Mathis, Murray Baylor. Good morning, Snazzy Girl. How you doing? Good morning, everybody. So, what I want to talk about this morning is something very interesting going on in the news right now, as well as um, some other things that I want to talk about. So, first, let me tell you what's been going on. I don't know if you guys have heard, but in Texas, there is a young man by the name of DeAndre, and he has been told by the school board, he's in high school, and he has been told by the school board, young Black boy, that he's not going to be able to walk in his graduation ceremony if he does not cut his dreads. They first told him before he went for break. Now he's just saying before he went on Christmas break, they told him that his hair would have to be up over his ears and off of his neck. So he started wrapping his hair up, like putting it in a bun like situation, and so it would be off his neck and above his ears. But after he came back from the winter break, they told him, basically said they went to school and they changed the dress code while they were on break, and now they're telling him that per dress code, if he doesn't cut his dreads, he's not going to be able to walk in his high school graduation. Okay, and the reason why I just saw a report yesterday that a second, Black teen in Texas, by the way, was told to cut his dreads by the school. And there is an issue going on evidently with Texas and dreadlocks. So what I'm going to do before we start, and we're going to talk about, and good morning, Jay Parrish, Asia, uh, good morning, everybody. I'm sorry, I don't have my phone really up right now because I want to read this article to you guys. I'm actually going to pull the article up. But what I want to talk about, moreover, there is more going on here besides the cutting of these these young Black teens, dreadlocks. What they're doing is they are trying to emasculate them, and they're trying to force them to assimilate because the Anglo feels inferior or intimidated, and they and he's the reason why they're so worried about it. And this is a predominantly Anglo school, by the way, a predominantly white school, but they feel intimidated and they feel like these boys are rebelling against the system, the system of white supremacy, simply because of their hairstyle, and forcing them to cut their dreads or be suspended from school or cut your dreads or you can't graduate. I'm sorry, that is pretty much a form of emasculation. Because for a lot of people, even as far back in the Bible, Samson in the Bible, for a lot of people, a lot of men, just like we know that for a woman, our hair is our pride, right? But for a lot of men, their hair is their pride also, especially if you are a black men, if you've taken the time to grow your dreads out, I mean, you didn't have them added on. It's your natural hair. You're taking pride in your hair. You know what I mean? You've done everything you can do to accommodate the Anglo, but it's still not good enough. The reason why it's still not good enough is because this is the emasculation process, and that is what we're going to talk about today. And that is why I said, as black women, we have to save our sons, because you have to stand for something. It is wrong to teach your children to just bow down in supplication because somebody is offended, somebody is intimidated by the way that you look, or by the color of your skin. It is intimidated. And when you don't teach your sons to stand for something, to stand on principle, they run around defeated and emasculated. And that is why you have so many of these men, particularly these young men, running around, feeling they're dealing with issues of colorism. They hate themselves. Self-help, self-hate, it's a powerful thing. But if they can get you to hate yourself, if they can emasculate you, they feel like they will be able to control you. Okay, and when they can control you via emasculation and assimilation, uh, they hope that they won't feel intimidated by you. But then you have older black men online in particular that are, pretty much the gatekeepers for white supremacy. I heard on O'Shea's show last night, I think his name was Steve the Dean, was on there, and he was pretty much, co-signing what these Anglos were doing to these teens. He was telling these black men, yes, you should cut your dreads if you want a job in higher management, if you want to go higher up in corporate America. So he's pretty much gatekeeping. He's pretty much, telling these men that they need to conform, they need to, assimilate, they need to agree to emasculation rather than stand and fight, rather than stand on principle, rather than rebel or rebel against the system. Do you see what I'm saying? But as black women, we know that we have had to deal with these issues forever, particularly in corporate America. We once knew, if we want to be in corporate America, that we had to assimilate ourselves into the Anglo woman, right? Or even if it wasn't a some kind of written rule, that you have to straighten your hair, it was like an unwritten rule. Well, at one point we were via the rise of the natural hair movement, we got tired of straightening our hair. We got tired of getting our head weaved up. If there's nothing wrong with weave, if that's what you want to do. Do you see what I'm saying? But we got tired of being told what we have to do, with our hair in order to move up in a company or even get a job. So, that is why the natural hair movement, even to this day, is growing strong, because we refuse to assimilate. Now you see a lot of black women in corporate America with their natural hair. They have beautiful natural hairstyles. Some of them have dreadlocks. Some of them have froze. Some of them have, very beautiful pent up, natural hairstyles. But what they did not do is they did not bow down and start to straighten the hair again, and they did not assimilate. So why would you want to teach your boys to assimilate? Because like I said, it's about so much more than, just simply cutting your hair. It's about black male emasculation. But we have to teach our boys to stand strong the way that we did when it comes to the hair and anything. There are lots of people in corporate America that have dreadlocks, froze, what I mean? As long as they're, well kept and uniformed. Do you see what I'm saying? That, there are several fields in the tech industry, they don't care how you wear your hair, as long as they're more worried about, I'm sorry, your job performance. Do you see what I'm saying? So I just didn't appreciate that guy, basically, browbeating these young black men into assimilation, into emasculation. But before we go any further, let me say good morning to Right to Be Told, Jay Parrish, if I didn't say it already. And all of you guys, like I said, I can't see my phone right now because I want to read this article. I'm going to pull this article up for you guys, and then we are going to read it and continue the conversation. I thought it was something that we as women should be discussing Because sometimes, especially if you may be a younger mother or something like that, you a millennial, you may not even realize what they are trying to do to your young sons. Okay, and when a black male, a man in general, feels emasculated, he feels like he doesn't have any type of control. Dysfunction sets in, and what we as mothers have to do in order to set off these types of dysfunctions, these different types of insecurities. We have to take a stand, and we have to teach our sons to be as strong as we are. We have to teach them to stand on principle. We just can't let their, emasculinity be taken away from them without a fight. That is absolutely not necessary. Do you see what I'm saying? And if they don't want you because of your hair, honey, it ain't about you or your hair. It's about them and their insecurities. That's what we have to teach them. Self esteem is a powerful weapon, especially when you're coming up against some nonsense like this. Because, in my opinion, this is nonsense. The boys have done everything that they could do to comply with this so called dress code, but they're not. The dress code is not the issue, okay? Because a lot of young women have long hair, below the ear. Okay, the issue is the color of their skin and racism, and they want to emasculate them even before they reach adulthood. So let me screen share the article, and we'll read it, and we will come back to discuss further. If you will give me a second, if you guys wouldn't mind, please hit the like button. And thanks so much for joining me, by the way. Also, let's see here. Give me 1 second. Okay. I don't know if you guys give me a few minutes. See if it'll come up. Okay. I'm assuming that you guys can see this on the screen. And so the article reads as follows: second black Texas teen told by school to cut dreadlocks, according to his mom. And below that it says Senator Cory Booker, a Democrat from New Jersey, who announced the first federal legislation that would ban hair-based discrimination in December, has expressed support for DeAndre and Caden. These are the two black Texas teens that are fighting the school board, to keep the dreadlocks. I think it's, on a side note, I think it's a shame that you have to, put forth legislation in 2020. Do you see what I'm saying? You have to put forth legislation. You have to pass legislation so that you won't be discriminated against based on your hairstyle. That is ridiculous in 2020. So we know that, forever we have, have had to, I'm sorry, try to, deal with the system of white supremacy, racism. But to, pass legislation, you have to pass a law. You have to make it against the law to discriminate on a black person via their hairstyle. Do you realize how petty, shallow, and plumb ignorant that is? And in my opinion, this is just plumb ignorance, okay? So anyway, let's read the article. Let me scroll down a little bit. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this. I think that if you turn your phone to the side, you may be able to see it, but I'm going to read it anyway. And please hit the like button if you don't mind. Thank you. So this article was written on January 24th by Janelle Griffith, and the article reads as follows, and I quote: a second teenager at a Texas high school was suspended and told he could not return to class until he cut his dreadlocks to be in compliance with the school's dress code. Caden Bradford, 16 now, a sophomore at Barbers Hill High School in Mount Bellevue in South Texas, has been on at-home suspension since last week, according to his mother, Sandy Bradford. Caden's cousin, DeAndre Arnold, is a senior at the school and also wears dreadlocks. DeAndre was recently told by administrators that he is not allowed in school and cannot walk at his graduation unless he cut his hair. His mother, Sandy Arnold, told NBC affiliate in Houston, DeAndre, whose father is from Trinidad, said the men in his family often grow their dreadlocks, and that it is part of his identity and culture. So let me try. Oh, I guess you guys can still see this. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying to. I wanted to get down to his picture. Let's see. Okay, I'm letting. Okay, so this is Caden Bradford. This is the sophomore. Okay, so the article goes on to say that both women who are sisters, both of the boys' moms, they're sisters, said they will not cut their boys' hair. Let me read that again for you guys, okay? Both women who are sisters said they will not cut the boys' hair. Bradford said in an interview Friday that, like DeAndre, her son has worn dreadlocks for years, and it only recently became an issue at the high school. Last year, Caden would wear a headband to keep his dreads off his shoulders, his mother said. The school told her that if Caden kept his dreadlocks pulled back, he would not be in violation of its hair policy, she said. But shortly after Christmas break, she said the school's principal, Rick Kana, told Caden that he would need to cut his hair. Bradford said she paid last week to have Caden's dreads cornrowed or tightly braided so that they lay flat against his scalp. But that did not appease administrators who placed him on at home suspension because he refused to cut his hair, his mother said. Now, they are doing everything they can to try to comply with the school wishes. She took him to the shop, had his dreadlocks braided to his head. It's clearly he's got a lineup and everything. It looks really neat. I mean, it's just like not over the place. It's really neat. Do you see what I'm saying? But that, even with her doing this, is still not good enough. Okay, the article goes on to state that she said she is now considering taking legal action so it can return to school. Wow. So you have to take legal action. You have to pay for a lawyer. Okay. Now, this is a public school, mind you. These are hardworking people. And they're now having to, employ counsel in order for their kids to continue to wear their hair braided up or dreaded up to school. Wow. Okay. So the article goes on to state that Bradford says she believes the hair policy is racist. I absolutely agree. The school district dress code states male students cannot have their hair gathered or worn in a style that would allow the hair to extend below the collar, earlobes, and eyes when let down. So even if your hair is above your ears while you're at school, just the fact just the fact that when you let your hair down at home, that's against the school board policy because your hair can be let down at home. Okay. Okay, so the article goes on to state that Barbers Hill High School is predominantly white. According to the school district data, African Americans made up 3.1% of the school district's population in the 2017-18 school year. The principal at Barbers High Independent School District Superintendent Greg Poole did not return multiple requests for an interview. The article goes on to state that in a statement posted on its Twitter account, the district said that it does allow dreadlocks, quote unquote. However, we do have a community supported hair length policy and have had for decades, the statement said. BH is a BH is a state leader with high expectation in all areas. On Friday, Senator Cory Booker, the Democrat from New Jersey, who announced the first federal legislation that would ban hair-based discrimination in December, expressed support for DeAndre and Caden. The article goes on to state that, quote, there's a quote that says, natural hair like dreadlocks is a reflection of culture and heritage. He tweeted, this is Cory Booker tweeting this. Natural hair like dreadlocks is a reflection of culture and heritage. He tweeted, no one should be punished for expressing who they are. The Crown Act would end this. The name of the legislation being passed is called the Crown Act. The Crown Act would end this. Hair discrimination is against black people, unquote. I absolutely agree with Cory Booker on that. The article goes on to state that in December, Booker said the Create a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair Act. Okay, Crown. That's what it means. That's what crown means. Crown means create a respectful and open world for natural hair. Wow. We'll make it clear that, quote unquote, discrimination based on natural and protective hairstyles associated with people of African descent is a prohibited form of racial or national origin discrimination. The article states at its end, Houston Texans wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, who has dreadlocks, also tweeted support on Wednesday for DeAndre. In his tweet, the wide receivers quote was, "Never cut your locks." That is what Hopkins said, and that is the end of the article. Wow. Do you realize? Let me stop the screenshot before I go on, guys. But anyway, I feel so bad for this young man. And we know that historically, some factions in our society, in particular Anglo women, have an issue with the black woman's hair. There was a point in after slavery, and hold on, let me I can't focus. Let me stop the screen share. Okay. Because I want to see what you guys are saying. Okay. Sorry about that. Let me see what you guys are saying before I go any further. Oh, yes, I've already tweeted to Governor Greg about it. Oh, cool, Jay Paris. Jay Paris said I encourage others to do so. Absolutely. 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 Because, like I said earlier, the quote goes, and it's true. If you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything, okay? And this whole thing, it sounds really frivolous to a whole lot of people, but there is a deep-seated racism. Like I said, there's an emasculation process. Do you see what I'm saying? Going on here. And it's a shame that Senator Cory Booker has to pass something called a Crown Act because people are discriminating against you based on your hairstyle, but they really are discriminating you, via the color of your skin. We know that. Do you see what I'm saying? And I think that it's a shame that these little fellas are having to deal with this, but I find it interesting that the mothers spoke out and said that, no, I'm not cutting my baby's hair. They are not going to cut their hair, okay? And that is the reason why the title of the video is such as it is when I say save our sons. The emasculation process starts before they reach adulthood, because that is absolutely what I believe. That is absolutely what's going on right now. Like, we're witnessing this in 2020. Why are you concerned about these boys' hair? And it also said in another article, good morning, Tiff. How you doing? Okay, and like I said, sorry about that, guys. I know if I get to read it, I'm gonna get paused. It also said in an earlier article that the young man, the one that's getting ready to graduate and supposed to be worried about what college he's going to go to, he has an almost 4.0, grade point average. You would think that that would be more important. Do you see what I'm saying? Clearly, these boys aren't having any problems or disciplinary problems in school. They look like good boys. I saw the interview. They've had a couple. I've seen a couple of interviews on the news about it. They seem like very good boys, come from very stable homes, and you also, I'm wondering how these parents feel, because they clearly live in a predominantly white area of Texas, this Bellevue, Texas, I believe the name of it was. How do you feel you know, after deciding to go, and then you always want to put your kids in a better position. You know what I mean? For a lot of reasons, a lot of parents want to move their black boys, into a better neighborhood. They don't want them to be victims of violence. They don't want to go into gangs and all of this and all that. And so you figure if you move into the suburbs, everything will be peachy keen, and you won't have to worry about violence. But what about, but then you have another whole set of issues. Now you have to worry about something as frivolous as hair. But like I said, it's really not frivolous at all, because it is about so much more than hair. But these mamas, I'm proud of these mamas, because they're not allowing this. Good morning, NYW. Those mamas said that their sisters, my babies ain't cutting their hair. So evidently it is up to us, because you have black men online saying, yes, comply, yes, bow down, go on and cut your hair if you want to get a job, go on and cut your hair if you want this, that, and the other. Instead of, black men like Senator Cory Bookers saying, no, your hair is a part of your culture, a part of your heritage. You do not have to cut your hair. You do not have to assimilate. You do not have to, just pretty much volunteer to be, emasculated. You don't have to go around buck dancing or shucking and jiving. All you have to do is stand and be a man, and do right by your people, do right by yourself, do the best that you can do. You know what I mean? These boys shouldn't have to be worrying about their hairstyle if they're trying to graduate from high school and go on to college, okay? To be productive members of society. They complain about you being a thug. They complain about it being a drug dealer. They could complain about you being a gang member. So now, when you are a good a student, when you are trying to get out of high school and go to college, be productive in society. As a young black man. They still complaining. It just ain't never good enough. And then, when you come home, you have a lot of black men, especially a lot of older black men, because they are the ones that's teaching these younger ones to comply, to assimilate. Okay, they are uplifting these ridiculous notions like you have to cut your dreadlocks, and by telling you won't succeed in corporate America, if you don't cut your hair. That's ridiculous. It would seem to me like these older black men will be telling them to stand on something. Stand on your principle. Stand up for your culture and your heritage. Stand up for you wanting to do what it is that you want to do with your own body. I simply don't understand that. But like I said, I was going to say before, and I lost my train of thought, guys, that, black women, we've had to deal with this, since forever. During chattel slavery, they would cut the slave's hair, especially the female's hair, to make her feel bad about herself, especially if the female slave owner, felt intimidated by her hair. After slavery, in Louisiana, there were a whole lot of Creole women, and they passed a law in Louisiana that these Creole women, which, pretty much were, biracial women, they had to keep their hair wrapped. They couldn't let their hair be exposed in public. So these Creole women and black women, they all black women in general, Creole, black, had to have their hair covered in public. So what they did, because these white women felt intimidated by their hair, especially the Creole women's hair, because it was, naturally curly, bouncy, beautiful hair. Do you see what I'm saying? Or even the 4C type, kinkier, nappier hair. They would, wear their hair braided in beautiful styles, and so they would feel intimidated by that. So they demanded that they cover their hair in public. So the Creole women and the black women, they complied. But what they did was they started to adorn their hair with these really extravagant head wraps. And even to this day, we wear extravagant head wraps. And then you know what? Those women even got jealous of the head wraps, and they started trying to mimic the black woman's head wraps. Isn't that something? So basically, no matter what you do, they're still not going to be happy with you because they feel at the end of the day inferior to you. Okay. And I just think I don't like it when we turn around and we, actually take up these, these self-hating issues, these self-esteem issues. You start to lift them up. You hear so many black men speaking derogatorily about, darker hued women. You're speaking derogatorily about darker hued women. You say you don't want to be involved with a deeply melanated woman, a dark skinned woman, when really you're saying that you don't want to be bothered with yourself. You really feel you have you have a color, a inner, a deep seated issue with the own color of your own skin. Do you see what I'm saying? So you want to beat down the deeply melanated woman and say that she is not attractive, and then you want to uplift, the lighter skinned or even or moreover the white woman, because we know that they want to the reason why they get with the white woman and procreate with the white woman is because they want to breed out their own blackness because of their own self-hate. But you want to talk down and demean the deeply melanated woman to make her feel bad about herself. Do you see what I'm saying? Because you feel bad about yourself. You just want to push her by the wayside no matter how beautiful her skin is. You want to push her by the wayside, make her feel like she's not good enough. Make her have some kind of complex about the color of her skin because you have the color of your skin. Make her feel like she's good enough. But then you get mad when you see that deeply melanated woman and she's over here with an Anglo, and he's just lavishing all kind of compliments, and trying to get with her because she's deeply melanated, because she has natural hair. The very thing that Anglo has taught you to hate is the very thing that he's waiting for you to kick to the curb so that he can embrace. Imagine that. Imagine that. Let me read this. NYW said, good morning, Olivia. Good morning, NYW. They tried to do this in the military, especially the Army. Tiff said the older men are broken, so they try to break the younger. Absolutely. That is absolutely what's going on. That's why you have these groups like MGTOW and SYSBM. That's why when something like this comes up, these older men are telling you to comply. Do you see what I'm saying? They are broken. Absolutely. They have been, emasculated forever. Do you see what I'm saying? And so, yeah, they don't want the younger man, to rebel. They don't want the younger man to have a sense of pride in himself because it hurts their little feelings. Well, your time has passed. You had your time to stand. You assimilated. You emasculated and pretty much emasculated yourself. You know, under the guise of white supremacy racism, because that is what your white daddy required you to do. And now you're trying to teach these young black men that are full of life, that are not fully emasculated or assimilated, to follow after you, to follow behind you. They don't even want these young black men to be happy in relationships. Do you see what I'm saying? That's how deep it gets. Okay, but let me read this. The older men are broken, so they try to break the younger generation, but they don't understand that bowing down got them nowhere. Absolutely. White people don't respect weakness, so the abuse increases. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. The black man is broken collectively, not individually, but the black man is broken to the point to where they don't even see him as a man anymore. They have chosen to uplift the black woman and put the black woman in the black man's place. You're always talking derogatory about black women when you have black women on here, teaching their sons to stand on their principles, teaching their sons to hold their head high. But you always have something derogatory to say about the black woman. That is why I say that we as black women, we are going to have to save our own community. We're going to have to save our own sons. We simply do not have a choice. Because evidently the black man is not going to be, here for us. But, we can raise up our sons to be a different type of black man. Lady, good morning, Lady Tia. Really enjoyed yesterday live and the positive dialogue with the beautiful ladies. In a king speaking out for us. Absolutely, I love that live stream yesterday. If you guys haven't checked out that live stream from yesterday, please check it out. It was very good. It was Cynthia G on there, and Nyla says, and Nyla's husband Taz on there. We had a panel discussion yesterday about the incel. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful panel discussion. You guys have to check that out if you haven't already. A lot of people were shocked because me and Cynthia G and Nyla and everybody are getting along now. But that's what you do as adults. You don't always have to be at odds with somebody. Do you see what I'm saying? And so it's not necessary. But a lot of the haters out there can't stand it. You guys have no idea the amount of comments that I've had to delete because Cynthia G was on my panel. I was like, child, anyway, bye. Good morning, Alicia. How you doing? And so, yeah, I just want to bring this real quick to you guys. And tell you women, especially single mothers, even if the father is in the home, you know what I mean? He may, have been beat down to the point mentally, to the point to where, he's saying to his son, "We're just going to cut your hair, son." Do you see what I'm saying? But us women, don't teach your sons to bow down. Don't teach them to, allow the emasculation process to overtake them. Teach them to stand on their principles. Teach them, to be the best man, to be productive in society. Being productive in society doesn't require you to become an emasculated black male. It doesn't require you to assimilate into something that you don't want to be. It doesn't require that. It is possible to hold your head high, hold your back straight, hold your head high, be productive in this society, be the best person that you can be, and still keep your dignity and respect. It is absolutely possible to do that, black man. And you are wrong for teaching these young black men to bow down and trying to shame them if they don't want to bow down just because you chose to bow down. It is wrong to teach these young black men to hate black women for no other. Good morning, making it work for me for no other reason than because I said so. Because you see, that is really what's going on. I saw a black man that did not necessarily, and he's a content creator. So they have talked so crazy to him that he has now chosen to join the side of the He-Man woman haters. So he's in his car last night drinking his beer, and he's railing against the black woman. The black woman is not your problem, honey. You are your problem. Okay? Lady Tia said, keep teaching them to honor the woman. Open doors. Yeah, absolutely. Respect yourselves and stand for something and stand firm in it. I absolutely agree. Hey, ZT. Hey, babes. Making it work with you. So he gave in. Yeah, he gave in. Yes, he did. He gave in. And so now he is speaking derogatorily against the black woman. Because, yes, he gave in. Absolutely. That's what he did. Gave in to a whole bunch of nonsense. Because really, as black women, you're not changing nothing. Do you see what I'm saying? But I find it interesting that a lot of black women, have all these complexes, and largely in part because they're worried about what the black man, says about them, how he tries to dictate their emotions, how he tries to dictate their strength, how he tries to dictate the hair, dictate everything about you. And I don't know why you got some women listening to this nonsense. Because what somebody else think about you, hey, good morning, Claude, really is none of your business. Okay? And that is the way that I live my life when it comes to anybody in this whole world. What you think about me is none of my business. Because I love me. Okay? ZT says women rule the world. Let's be honest. I know that's right, ZT. What you think about me is none of my business. Okay? Don't allow other people's complexes. You have so many colorless black men on here. I'm not going to fool with that woman. She's too dark. Well, you know what? If you come across a man like that, peep the signs. Do you really want to be involved with somebody that, basically is discriminating against you about your color, about the color of your own skin. That's ridiculous. Move on to the next one. Child. Do you see in Texas, making it work for me says, do you see in Texas where they wouldn't let the young man walk across the stage unless he cut his? Yes, we just discussed that. I read the article. I did. You'll have to go back and play the first part of the video, making it work for me. We've already discussed it. That is what what prompted me to do this video this morning. So yeah, I read the article. Lady Tia said, "Me too, Miss Olivia. It's in my description. It's in your description. What do you think about me? Isn't my business? Absolutely not. It is not my business. It is not my concern. And quite frankly, I do not care what you think about me. I don't have time because I'm too worried about what I think about me. Okay. And if I'm good with me, you should too. You should be good with me too. Desiree says, as a single woman, it's disturbing to see so many hurt and broken men out here. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I agree with that, Desiree. There are a lot of there are a lot of mothers out here emasculating their sons as well. Yes, there are, unfortunately. Yes, there are, unfortunately. And that is a deep-seated issue, but we are not talking about those women today. But you are absolutely right. I will have to do a video on that. There are a lot of women that do that. But see, the thing about the black woman is some of those women do that because of fear, because they don't want their son to be shot down in the street like a dog, because there is a black man in America. You are born into this world with a target on your back. And instead of emasculating him, you need to teach him how to maneuver. Because when you're in a process of emasculating him, you're teaching him to to hate himself. And self-hatred, it equals self-destruction on every level. Okay? And we know that more times than not, when men in general, but we're talking about black men, when black men are hurting, they will go on to hurt others while they're in the process of hurting themselves. Self-destruction is a powerful tool. Self-hatred breeds all of that. Self-hatred breeds contempt. Self-hatred breeds jealousy. Self-hatred breeds envy. Self-hatred will have you not wanting to be a functional, part of society. So you go on to be, in the words of Cerulean Gray, a derelict male. You hate the color of your skin. You hate the color of your woman's skin because you hate yourself. Because you have to always be happy with what you see in the mirror. It is none of your business what somebody else think about you. Making it work, we said, I'd rather for my son to die for his ethics and principle. Zero Tolerance says, fear is a major factor that most try to avoid. Absolutely. Absolutely, ZT. You are absolutely right. Lady Tia said, we have to teach them how to not just survive, but about loving themselves first. You're absolutely right, Lady Tia. And you have to be selfish when it comes to you. And Lady Tia's right. You have to teach even not only our girls, you have to teach our boys. It is okay to be you. It is, if you can't stand up for nothing else in the world, stand up for you. Because when you stand up for you, when you teach them to stand up for themselves, they are going to naturally stand up for you. We have to teach our children to have pride, to have a strong, positive sense of self. We must teach them this. Making it work for me says, then live as a coward on his knees. I heard that. Thank you, Lady Tia. Love them. Love themselves. Absolutely love themselves. Love themselves. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get off here because, like I said, I promised that I didn't want to make this video too long. And I pretty much want to let you guys know what I felt about what's going on with these two black teens in Texas, because I don't think that a lot of people are realizing what they're seeing. You're seeing a in real time an emasculation process going on. Emasculation process of two very impressionable, because teens are very impressionable, black boys. And we have to stand up as black mothers, start paying attention to this, because the emasculation process, via what's going on with these boys, is starting before they even reach college, before they reach adulthood. Because it said this boy, I remember, he's a sophomore in school. So he's like 16 years old, 15, 16 years old. So they're starting with him trying to whittle away at his manhood, and he hasn't even reached manhood yet, because they feel intimidated, because they feel threatened. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. But anyway, I just want to give you guys a little something to think about, us mothers out here. Lady Tia said my son was getting teased for being kind to the girls. I told him to never stop being a gentleman. Absolutely, Lady Tia. Absolutely. You don't have to be misogynistic, in order to, be a, forthright man. It's not necessary. In my opinion, misogynistic is only a sign of weakness. That means you are scared of me as a woman, and you have to try to make me bow down in order to lift yourself up. That means you are afraid of me. And I am a woman, and you are afraid of me. That's ridiculous. Good morning, Miss Cruiser. Making it says, my son was taught to get up when a lady come in the room. Absolutely. Lady Tia said exactly, Miss O. Absolutely. I still expect, when I go into a store or anywhere else, I expect you to open that door for me. Okay? I expect that. Because I have gone into stores a couple of times, and a couple of, and I'm talking about a couple of young black men have just gone in before me, or went in and not held the door or whatever, and I always tap them on the shoulder, and I remind them, because I am older, did you forget to hold that door open for me? Did you forget to let me go in first? You know what the response has always been? I'm sorry, ma'am. I said, no worries. I just want to remind you. I know your mama taught you better than that. Because, see, we live down south, okay? And there are a certain set of rules that we go by, down here. And you know better than to let yourself go in that door without holding that door open for me. I realize it is 2020. It is not the old days anymore, but some things never get old, okay? And you never get too old to have respect for your elders. That's what you don't do. Making it says, I'm teaching my 8 and 10-year-olds same things. Absolutely. ZT says, I was raised to stand up for respect, literally, also. I know that's right, ZT. And then you know what, ZT? I can tell. I can tell. I really can tell. Like, I really can. Absolutely. Lady Tia said, my sons won't even let me answer the door. I now understand why. It comes natural. Yeah, it comes natural from them to want to protect you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Even my nephew, he turned 13, and now he think he is I guess he think he man. He wants to tell his little, the little cousins what to do. They're younger than him, especially the girls, and then the boys too. He's done turned into the daddy. He's done turned into my daddy. He's done turned into his mama's daddy. He is everybody's daddy right now. Okay. He wants to be the protector. And I don't say nothing. I just let him do him, because I think it's so sweet. I really do. I think it's so sweet. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Yeah, but ZT, I can tell. It's in his DNA, Olivia. Yeah, I absolutely agree. And we let him do him. I never say anything. I let him do him. Okay? I let him do him. Because what I'm not going to do is make him think that he is not supposed to protect the females in his family or females in general. That's what I'm not going to do. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I do the same. It is. It's really sweet. It's really very sweet. I just be chuckling under my breath, and sometimes I say, "Well, yes, sir." It's sweet, but that's all right to let me know that um, he cares. So because you won't find a lot of men that go around saying "I love you" constantly, or giving you hugs constantly, because they won't feel masculine doing that. But they will show you in other ways that they care about you. So yeah, I think it's sweet. So yeah. Desiree said, "I'm a single mother. I taught my son from a little boy to be respectful to women. He is 29 years old now, and I'm proud of the man he has become." Absolutely, Desiree. I know that's right. And then a man gets further. See, some of these men, especially the ones online, like I told you guys, when I first came online, I had no idea about anything called a gender war. I had never heard men speak so derogatorily about women. I was like, oh my God, where did that at? Did they get raised in a barn or something? Like, what is really going on? Child. Cloud said, to this day, I'm 50 years young. You a mess, Cloud. I always hold the door for a woman. I'm also a stickler for walking, yep, on the outside of the sidewalk. Cloud said, it's amazing how many don't know about that. You're absolutely right, Cloud. You're absolutely right, and it should come naturally. You have a good weekend too, NYW, and it should come naturally. But Cloud, we all know you a gentleman. We all know you love your queen, honey. We don't see you stand by your queen in her darkest hour when she was sick. So Cloud, we already know. Making it says these dudes that are bitter against women have underlying issues which may stem from rejection. Absolutely rejection. They a lot of them have mommy issues. Do you see what I'm saying? But absolutely rejection. Absolutely. Lady Tia said, my 14-year-old uh never come in my house without hugging me. Yeah, without hugging me and his baby sister. He's going to be a good man for someone one day. I know that's right, Lady Tia. I know that's right. My nephew, especially the oldest one, he's 13, but he's taller than me now, right? So he likes to come. And why don't they walk so softly? I can't stand. Child, look, they like to harass their auntie. So what he would do is they walk soft anyway. I turn around and he'll be just right there. And then he'll just start picking and he'll start poking. And it's just like that. Have y'all guys seen that? It was an ad a long time ago. And it was kids fussing in the back of the car. You're touching me. You're touching me. They like to harass their old auntie. So they all harass me. But he got it real, real bad, because he taller than me now. And he liked to poke me on the top of my head and stuff. I guess he reminded me that I'm taller than you now. Child, the whole thing is just, they like to torture their auntie. That's all. That's all. But you're right, Lady Tia. You can tell that he's going to be a good man for somebody. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, that makes me feel good. But they're going to stop poking me because they done got taller than me. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get off here. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much for interacting with this video. If you haven't already, please hit that like button on your way out the door. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. And please feel free to share this video. And don't forget to smile. Don't forget to smile at somebody. Never, ever, ever forget to love your beautiful self. Okay, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I'm going to talk to you guys later. But first, before y'all leave, I'm going to close my video with a little bit of jazz this morning. Because y'all know I'm feeling the jazz right now. Lady Tia said, it's a talk behavior. That's why the guy you're talking about, he was easily influenced. Yeah, yeah. Making it says you never notice that Prince Harry and Obama always keep their right elbow bent. Yes, with the expectation of that their wives will come. Absolutely making it. You're absolutely right about that. Uh-huh. 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 They always expect the mister always expects me. He always his hand is always down. Um like to catch me at my back or something like that. And it's a protection mechanism. Do you see what I'm saying? And so yeah. And so yeah. All right, guys. Like I said, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.